Hey, I'm home.
Hey honey, how was your day?
All good, thanks.
How was practice?
Could have been better.
Again?
What do you mean again?
Your practice has been getting worse recently, wouldn't you say?
Wait, how'd you figure that out?
Because you're a loser, Tyler.
Just like your father. You've always been a loser, Tyler.
Welcome.
You look like you're in need of a good night's sleep. What's been going on?
It's a long story. Looks like it's just the three of us again.
At this point, we should just forget about. I mean, we don't even know their name. It's so weird. Anyway, if they don't show up tonight, we should just drop them from the project.
How much time do we even have to finish this thing?
We have 3 more weeks, so not that much time. Especially if we can't find a decent enough subject. So, what did you guys research?
I like the Lucifer.
I researched the Four Corners.
Oh, okay. What did you find out about that? And please tell me you didn't research another scary story.
No, I found some stuff out.
Like?
Well, it's the only place in the US where 4 state lines, Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico, and Utah meet, hence the name and the monument marking the location.
Well, duh.
The US took ownership of the Four Corners region from Mexico after the Mexican-American War in 1848. In addition to it being the very first location where helium was extracted, the monument itself actually falls in 6 government jurisdictions, not just of the 4 states it sits within, also including the Native American tribal governments of the Navajo Nation and Ute tribe.
Find anything creepy about the place?
Well, what's interesting is that some people speculate that the amount of paranormal activity in Colorado is actually higher than most states due to the takeover of native lands. The state is considered by some to be a hotbed of activity because of this.
Is it cursed?
It could be. Or have you heard of Skinwalkers?
Yeah, they're Native American witches who have the ability to shapeshift.
Right. For the most part, turning into wolves, coyotes, and birds, creatures who are meant to cause harm. It is said when you visit the Four Corners, there are eyes always watching. There's a legend of a writer who decided to rent a remote cabin in the Arizona high desert in order to gain inspiration and go into solitude in order to write. The area is very isolated, surrounded by the vast ponderosa pine forest and juniper groves. One day, whilst the writer was meditating, gaining peace to get into the creative mindset, they experienced an unsettling feeling. The feeling of being watched. The writer knew there was no one around and brushed off this eerie feeling and decided to drive back to the cabin. As she was driving, she noticed a man walking down the street. The writer offered to give this man a ride, and conveniently, the man needed to be dropped off near the cabin where the writer was staying. This man was eerily quiet in the car throughout the drive, causing the writer to feel a bit weirded out by the experience. Once they arrived at the drop-off point, the man walked into the darkness and appeared to vanish. Thinking she was just sleep-deprived and seeing visions, the writer wanted to get back to the cabin as soon as possible. That night, she was woken up from her deep sleep when she heard scratching noises coming from outside the cabin. As she went to investigate, she heard bushes rustling as if something was moving through them in the darkness. She then heard these howls from what seemed like coyotes off in the distance. At that point, the scratching sounds suddenly stopped. It wasn't until the next morning when the writer went outside and discovered tracks from a much larger animal, much larger than a coyote. The next nights at the cabins seemed to follow with these occurrences. There would be coyote howls heard in the distance, but as the nights passed, the writer became curious. She felt compelled to explore. She ventured outside, and as she did, she heard the howls from the coyotes turn guttural and deep, almost sinister. All of a sudden, the writer heard movement in the shadows. She turned and saw a silhouette of a forest shifting into what looked like a man-like figure before disappearing into the night. After this, the writer decided it was time to leave. On her way out of the area, she stopped for breakfast at a local diner, got talking with the staff, and shared her experience with them. That's when they told her the man she gave the ride to was likely the Skinwalker.
You know, the whole jurisdiction thing is really interesting.
That's your biggest takeaway? The Skinwalker story was awesome.
I think this would be a good subject to focus on for the project. We just need to do a little bit more research on the actual history.
I'm glad you liked it.
So, what did you find out about the Denver airport?
Okay, so found a lot of information about conspiracy theories surrounding the airport, starting with years of schedule changes in construction and rumors of secret underground tunnels. But
Nothing. Carry on.
okay, so Lucifer, the big statue in the front, real creepy, was created by this guy, Luis Jimenez, who actually got crushed to death by part of the sculpture during its construction. It had to be completed by the team he hired to work with him on the project. Some say his spirit lingers in the statue. The glowing red eyes are said to hold ties to the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. The construction of the statue suspiciously mirrors the unorganized and spotty management and construction of the airport itself. The airport as a whole is said to hold bases for secret societies and undercover hideouts for an apocalypse. There's a stone called the Dedication Stone that has strange carvings that lead to different conspiracy and historical groups like the Freemasons, the New World Order, and even the Illuminati. The stone claims the airport was created by the New World Airport Commission, which is never been confirmed to actually exist. There are the symbols on the stone and around the airport itself that tie to the Freemasons and the Illuminati, all relating to a totalitarian government and secret elitist groups. This leads us to the speculation for the underground tunnels. These secret societies are said to use them for headquarters to plan for world domination or even the apocalypse. Others have said that the tunnels hold strange, supernatural qualities.
Are these theories backed by anything or just speculation?
It's definitely not conclusive, but okay, nobody's denying the theories, so people can't help but believe them. Also, conspiracy theorists believe that these secret societies were obsessed with symbolism, so that's why there's so much of it. Anyway, we haven't gotten to the story. I was looking on Reddit and found an interesting story about the tunnels. It's Reddit, so I doubt it's real, but with the airport's history, you never really know. It's about this old custodial worker who was cleaning an empty Concourse B train platform. He was finishing up for the day and headed on one of the trains to the terminal. The train unexpectedly stopped at a station called Maintenance, one he had never seen. They are greeted by this worker who tells them to follow a red line to get to the terminal, but the worker loses track and goes the wrong direction to a control room. Inside, they find strange blueprints of secret tunnels and unrecognizable train platforms. They then stumble upon a personal file alongside this monitor with what looks like to be a live video feed of a man tied up in restraints. It looked like they were performing some sort of experiment on them. This provokes the custodial worker to leave in a panic and run through the endless maze of corridors, trying to find their way back. He eventually reached the familiar terminal. No one knows what he might have seen on the monitor, but it seemed like some creepy apocalyptic stuff. Also, did I mention there's artwork all over the walls of the airport that depict strange apocalyptic type themes showcasing wars, pollution, and violence? I was on a trip last summer and saw some of the artwork. No way it's all a coincidence.
That definitely sounds like a Reddit story.
What do you mean?
Never mind.
What did you find?
So, I researched a ghost town named St. Elmo's, which used to be a popular mining town in the 19th century, but turned into a ghost town after everyone abandoned it around the 1920s.
Ghost town?
Yeah, as in an abandoned town. There was a fire that caused the town to decline in the late 1800s. Following that, there were mine closures and the railroad was discontinued. By the 1930s, the town's population was only 7 people. However, one family remained. Anton Stark emigrated to the US and settled in St. Elmo's in 1881. His family ran a number of local businesses over the years. As the population dropped over the decades, the Starks refused to leave, their determination giving them notoriety and admiration. Anton's daughter, Annabelle Stark, became somewhat of an iconic figure in folklore as she and her brother, Tony...
Tony?
Yes?
Tony Stark.
Yeah?
Cool.
Okay, so yeah, Annabelle and Tony Stark lived in the town without electricity and plumbing. They were known to defend the town from thieves and vandals by patrolling the streets with rifles. Annabelle was nicknamed Dirty Annie from her disheveled appearance. It's said that her spirit still roams the streets, protecting the town. And I know how much you guys like the spooky stories, so I also found one about a skier. She said that she saw a mysterious woman in a white dress in a hotel window in the town. The mysterious lady was looking at some kids on snowmobiles playing around. The skier told them that snowmobiles weren't allowed and asked them to leave. And when she turned back to the window, the mysterious woman nodded at her and vanished. St. Elmo's ghost town has a lot of interesting history, but also many creepy stories.
It was interesting, but you could have gone deeper on the ghost stories.
Seriously?
Left something?
Does anyone get the feeling there's something kind of off about this person?
Why are we having to do this?
Hey, guys? Take a look at this.
What is it?
Some kind of journal.
Well, duh.
It looks old.
These entries are dated to the late 1800s.
Who wrote this?
What?
This has to be some kind of joke.